We are live. Hey, hey, hey. Now look at that. Okay. Sorry about that. Now the screen is up. I need to do something real quick first. I did not set up properly for this. Whoopsie doopsies. Can we, like, apologies for the slight issues. Can I? Ugh. I should have done this right beforehand, but I forgot to. I'll be ready in a, how's it going, y'all? I am having slight issues, and I will be ready to actually do what I was intending on doing in a moment, because I'm a derp. That works. Okay. Howdy, howdy, how's it going, y'all? I hope y'all have had a good time. And we're gonna get into some lore today. So, okay, it's dark out, so I'm gonna try sleeping, you know? Let's see what happens. Because if I need to get more sleep anyhow. That's odd. I'm assuming not able to fall asleep. I'm gonna go check that out, because that seems weird. I've not been out of my house much. I've just kind of been down in the mines and stuff, thinking, and okay, it's just nighttime, right? I mean, except for the fact that what? Why is the jungle this green? Why is that? Whoa. Why is there snow? Did they, is it winter? I don't know. Maybe the sun, maybe something's, I don't know. I don't understand this. I did a little bit of work, as you can tell. Filling up more chests. I have more potatoes cooked. Okay. I don't think I need anything. Oh, also, I'm in a different outfit right now, because my other clothes, the dress that I'm wearing, I am getting cleaned. You know, because I think I wore it for like basically almost entirely solely. That's the word. Huh. Okay. Did the moon was just setting, and did someone turn, like, is the sun not, is the sun gone? That has to be irrational. That has to be insane. This doesn't make sense. I don't understand. Is the sun, is it gone? I mean, it can't be. It simply cannot be gone, like. But, oh, I also, oh. Hello,
It worked.
yeah, the paper. Oh, okay. Sorry.
I
I watched the moon rise, and I watched the moon set and then rise again. That's not important. What's the sorry, I am rattled. What's the
I'm
what's
sorry.
going on?
I didn't mean to occupy.
No,
Fall on your way.
it's okay. That is why I gave you those. I just, yes. I've been here before. Here.
What? Wait, you have?
Yeah. So, funny thing about those papers, I don't know where you left them, but apparently Lily was walking around and found one of them and brought me here, which was useful because she was actually looking for me to words to help figure out something. I don't remember what she was confused about, but it's because I was also planning on coming over here trying to ask you where how to get to her, because I had felt something weird. I didn't mention this to you. It's not that important. We're not sure yet. I can explain later. This isn't what you brought me here for. I don't think.
Well, for starters, I recommend you breathe a moment.
Sorry. Yeah, I was just confused.
My matters can wait a moment. I didn't think you, well, didn't know what had happened.
Oh yes, I don't know. I've not been paying much attention. I'll be honest. I've been kind of down in the mines and. Well, that room wasn't blocked off last. Did something
That has a
happen?
bit of something to do with the issue.
Interesting. Okay.
Need to unblock it soon enough anyway. But
It's okay. I'm assuming that's not the exact reason you brought me here though.
no, it isn't. But you are entitled to an explanation if you don't know what's going on.
If you want, we can do what you were looking for my assistance with first, or at least for my, I'm assuming assistance because you.
Oh no, I'm perfectly fine with explaining what's going on first.
Gotcha.
Actually, well, I'll just show you this for starters, since you don't know about what's appeared. Ren. Okay,
Ren?
this is something a bit stronger than. Also apparently not breakable. Another time then.
That's okay.
To explain, as I'm sure you've noticed, it's, well, permanently dark outside now.
Yeah, I thought it was just a normal night until I realized there was snow starting to fall out away from the jungle of Carcadia, and the jungle itself is a dark, quite actually nice, if it wasn't for the odd circumstance, green.
Yeah.
And then I saw the moon set and then rise again.
That is due to, where do I even start? I explained to you before that I was from a different dimension, correct?
Yes, you did, yeah.
It seems that other realms attached to this one exist here.
Interesting.
Beyond
Other
what
realms.
I explained before about what the Nether was, for example.
Yeah.
So, a place
Oh.
called the Shadow Realm exists.
Shadow. I vaguely heard about that from Lily once again, because I saw what was in there was at least a portal. I don't remember more.
You're correct on
And
that.
oh,
In
do you want
fact,
these
it's-
buttons back? I found them.
Oh, no, those just keep falling off the door every time they open and shut.
Oh, it's okay. Sorry.
Genuinely. Also good thing to recommend if you keep coming by here, don't drop items by the door, because it automatically deletes them as they drop.
Oh, okay.
Be very careful about that. We've lost shoulders here.
Oh, fair. Oh, the grass here looks different too.
Kyo's been very good about maintaining everything, but the weather's
Yeah.
changing still.
Yeah, like the trees, the leaves, they look less vibrant. Everything. Okay.
So, in the Shadow Realm, it turned out there was a civilization there.
Interesting.
Do you know what? Oh, have you met any Shadow Kids before?
Not to my knowledge, but also I didn't recognize the revenants when they were with you.
That's fair.
So I could have.
They're humanoids with cat-like features.
Okay.
Have a tendency to have a root somewhere in dark-related energies, but not always.
Interesting.
Tends to go from person to person, but to my
Yeah.
understanding there's a natural sort of almost biological inclination, they would have to be considering they come from a realm of shadow. But
That makes sense.
these shadow cats had a separate government,
Oh, okay.
a kingdom, actually. And
Hmm.
their kingdom had a king by the name of Regulus.
Regulus. Okay.
A majority of people, after some exploration, ended up finding the castle that the Shadow Cats lived in.
Fair.
And a solid amount of people from Port Spiral, which people in my company, you've met Lily and Keo.
Yeah.
We went there as well. And a friend of mine was wrongfully taken into prison.
Oh.
It was due to a cultural reason. It was half-baked at most from the king. Truth be told, as dramatic as it sounds, the king was seemed a bit offended by the fact that my friend did a ritual with his daughter, which meant marriage in their culture.
Oh. Okay.
It's you read these sorts of things in romance novels, but
Yeah.
the issue of it is that we have reason to believe that it's not even an actual cultural requirement, or just a tradition that is kept.
Hmm.
As for this, just is giving, I suppose, exposition to why it's currently night here now.
Fair.
I went to go break my friend out of that prison.
Understandable.
People kept saying, want to stay. I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
And I went to go break him out. He didn't want to go, at least not initially.
Hmm.
I didn't agree with him, so I instead left him there and started sneaking around the castle to see anything that I could use to exonerate him.
Okay.
Instead, I found a monster inside of the king's basement.
Oh.
I don't have any evidence to back this up, but I've been blamed for the release of said monster.
But you didn't, right? Like, at least you don't believe you did?
I had very little intention of releasing the thing. I didn't even know what it was. I just skimmed through a journal I had taken from Regulus and went down there because I thought maybe something important was there.
That makes sense.
I know the culprit, but I don't have any evidence to prove it yet.
Hmm.
It all happened on the spur of the moment, and part of me doesn't even think Alessandra did it with any actual plan.
Fair. That's a new name, as Alessandra. I don't know many people, seemingly. So that's the person who, like, truthfully did it?
Correct.
I believe you.
Well,
I don't think you would willfully release a monster that was capable of removing the sun.
I'm not going to deny that's a bit fast of your belief, but thank you.
Well, yeah, you were correct on that, but you don't seem like the kind of person to do that. I mean, I don't know much about you, of course, so I guess you could be lying to me, but I don't see that as likely. You seem to be a very straightforward person from what I've learned, and maybe I'm wrong, and that could make me a fool, but that is my judgment on this. I'm kind of quick to make decisions like that.
But still, thank you.
Of course, it's. I mean, I trust that you aren't, you didn't have the ulterior motive, basically.
Regardless, due to that beast escaping, it upset what appeared to be an obscura, a box-like humanoid.
Okay. An obscure.
That said being is the one that put the world in night.
Why? I mean, I don't.
It was seen as this realm siding with the Shadow Cats, an act of war, likely.
Oh. Okay, so there's not just the Shadow Realm, but there's some other likely realm that has a different group of people entirely. That. Oh, okay. That's. Damn.
It was a lot for me to process and deal with, I'll admit.
Understandably.
That day had a lot going on.
It sounds like it, to be fair.
Yeah. And now I'm apparently a wanted man.
Wanted? For a crime you didn't do.
A crime that, by all accounts and evidence, and by any lack of witnesses thereof, I did. I don't know I don't know to what extent, but I was told that there were posters, so.
Posters. Oh. That's. It's not good.
Certainly not amazing.
Agreed. Well, one second. I'm trying to think.
Take as much time as you need.
So you want to have a wanted poster, so I'm assuming a bounty of sorts. That's I don't have words. I don't have words to properly, not at you, I'm not, but like at the situation. Correct. This will also come off as rash, but if you ever get in a situation where you need someone to defend you, where you need someone to fight,
I can't ask that of you.
I'm not asking you to ask that of me, I'm asking you to promise that to me.
I cannot do that in good conscience. You barely know me, Genevieve.
You are correct, but you are one of the few people on here that's not dead that I can trust, that I've learned to trust, that I've allowed myself to trust. You are one of the few people who isn't part of, who didn't die in my home, that is still with me. And I don't want to lose anyone else. You're not going to know anything about my town or about my lineage, but if it's okay, allow me to explain.
Do you want to take a seat and talk about it then?
If you want to take a seat, I'm okay with taking a seat. I'm just, yeah. So, since you along with others are people who are here not from this world, so to speak, from a world akin to it, correct?
Correct.
I'm guessing that the last name Witherwoods rings no bell then.
Absolutely not.
Okay, that makes sense. Also due to the fact that my town, it was from Carcadia even further away than Carcadia is to the archive itself.
So on the other side of the world, pretty much, from me.
Most definitely. So one thing I've not said because I've not found it important is mentioning anything about this, but technically, I am Lady Genevieve Witherwoods of Shadecliff. Shadecliff is my home that is seemingly destroyed. I have not had the time or desire to go back yet to see what has been wrought upon my home. And I don't use the title because I feel it's useless with the state my town is likely in. What I want to make clear, though, is that... Okay, so... when the town... Interesting.
So Wither is up there somewhere.
Hopefully not near...
Someone's getting their runs in.
Indeed. But what happened was my family was the Witherwood family for more than 500 years was the protector and leaders of Shadecliff. I don't remember how we got what our name came from. I was not told that was something related to something I wasn't allowed to know until I was an adult. But due to the conditions politically near my home, I had to leave before I turned 18. What I am almost certain was wrought upon the town is an attack, a destruction of the town, and through that, my parents are likely dead. It's hard for me to wrap my head around still some days, to be fair. But to know that when I check in the direction of Shadecliff, I don't see any life there anymore. And by see, I mean I don't sense it when I'm in that spirit circle, that one that you have, which by the way does look like it will work well, and I do know it works pretty well because I used it once with Lily. That's beside the point though. But to know that everything I had known is gone, and that I wasn't there to help, eats away at me, because that is what I thought myself was supposed to do. My parents sent me away for my own safety, hoping that I would find a new home and forget about my life, because it's not safe there anymore. It wasn't safe there. They are... This is a very roundabout way of me explaining that I have lost anyone I have known from my birth to around 17 or 18 years old, and I have not been around many people since, due to just me not being good at meeting new people, and me not being around large groups of people like that. But I can't bear to see something like that happen again. I can't bear to lose someone that I have any ounce of trust in again. I've lost an entire town, I do believe, and I'm not certain if... I could be wrong, and I do hope I'm wrong. But I'm not going to act like I'm not fairly certain that I am correct. And since I wasn't able to be there to help fight, even if that meant my death, my demise, with my parents, with my comrades, my people in my town, even if that meant, that I would die you know, I would have died 4 years ago, roughly. It. I don't know if I don't think me being there would have helped, but I don't know, and I don't want to have to wonder with anyone else that I've worked with if they get in a situation like this, a bounty on your head, that what could I have done? Say 5 years removed after this, if they get you, if they succeed in the bounty, I can't. I refuse to let it happen. I would rather fall upon my sword than see that happen to anyone else I know, willfully, without me putting in my all.
At nobody's cost but your own, right?
Hmm.
At nobody's cost but your own.
But my own, yes. I would rather die fighting than see, you know, and give you or someone else a fighting chance if they do try to get you, if something happens, then live with the knowledge that I have twice failed and that I don't deserve my title or the magic that I possess if I did not use it as it should have been used. So I did not use my title. I did not use my power in my own home to defend those that I had known, to defend a town that had been safe for nigh 600 years, only for it to fall and me not be there. I can't let it happen again. I need you to promise me. I understand that you don't want someone promising something like this, or having to make a promise with someone about this, but I need this. I can't stand to lose someone again, because I just can't. Hmm.
Breathe.
I'm trying to. Okay, it's something I try not to talk about much because funny enough, 4 years removed from something, a loss like this, it still hurts nonetheless.
I understand.
Okay.
More than you can know.
Oh. I'm sorry.
I have a lot of like in this sense, I think.
Oh. Okay.
My name is Ender Lockhart.
Ender
I'm
Lockhart.
last of my kind and the last of my own lineage.
Oh.
My own lineage, well, I suppose you could call me a royal in that category as well, technically.
Interesting.
My great-grandfather fed my people.
Fair.
But that was an age that I wasn't there for.
Yeah.
It was an age that fell apart before I was born, even.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I told you that I came from another world, well, another dimension, universe. There's
Correct.
proper measurements for it, but they escape me right now.
It's okay. I wouldn't know the proper measurements either.
Try trust me, I've hardly known it myself. I had to learn them, and I can still barely comprehend it sometimes.
Fair. It sounds complex. As you were saying about that, though, if you were going to go on further, if not, I'm not trying to prod.
I don't remember if I've told you about it before, but I'm among the ones that stayed initially when people started venturing off on my home into other dimensions.
Oh.
My home was torn with war, and I wanted to stay to repair it.
That makes sense.
One day, something unstoppable came.
Oh.
Corruption. The skulk.
The skulk? Okay, I don't... I vaguely know about that. As a thing, at least. I've seen a little bit of it.
It was controlled by an entity that was a maniac, if anything. But it was like nature. You couldn't fight it. It consumed my world bit by bit.
Sorry. That sounds horrible.
I assembled together whoever has managed to escape it. We didn't have any choice but to run, flee.
Yeah.
But before we did, corruption made me do something that it took one of my closest friends.
Oh.
Changed him. Turned him into something that hunted us.
That sounds horrifying.
You could still talk. He kept trying to convince me to join him. But myself be consumed. So I did the only thing that I could to protect everyone. I had to kill him.
That makes sense. That sounds like something very rough to do, especially with someone I'm assuming was quite close to you.
I made a vow before that, a long time ago, to protect people, those I cared about, at no one's cost but my own. And I think we're alike in that way.
That does kind of sound similar. I'm not, because I was not afraid to lay down my life for Shady Cliff, but my parents sent me away, and I don't want to be barred from the opportunity again to save anyone.
Then if you want me to make this promise, then my condition is that you make me one in turn.
Well, what is the counter promise, I suppose, then?
Same arrangement. We stand by one another.
Okay. If you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. I don't tend to like other people putting their lives on their line for me, but if that is the necessity for me to do what I see as necessary, considering we both have the same similar thoughts on this, I know there's probably no way to budge you if there's no way to budge me.
What else happens when a movable object meets an unstoppable force? And they surrender.
That is true. I am.
Based on what was I going to do? Neither of us agreed out with one another.
I mean, it was a possible outcome, I suppose. I just. That would have been an interesting outcome. I definitely prefer the you not turning down my promise, so I will not turn down your. I mean, yeah, you not turning down my request of a promise, so I will not turn down yours.
Seems to be the only fair scenario.
I suppose it seems so. Yes.
As much as I hate to admit it, I may need all the help I can get soon.
Well,
Winter is coming.
Winter is definitely coming. Carcadia is still warm at the moment, but even I can see this like small amounts of snow landing around outside of the jungle proper. The crops are growing slower. I was kind of confused with that until I finally went up to see the sun. I decided I was going to go down mining, looking for resources, for coal, and staying within my farm, my potatoes, and cooking them. So that's.
Oh shit.
I'm going to stand up.
Yep, good call.
I saw that happen. I realized I probably only had seconds left. Yeah.
Bing, bing, bong, bing, bing, bong. Bing, 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 bong, bong. Bing, bong, bing, 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 bong, bong.
Agreed.
I can't hit high notes.
It's all good. So, yeah, it does seem like winter is coming unless we can earn the sun back, so to speak. But I'm sure I have less of an idea than anyone else who was present in the Shadow Realm that how that's doable. I'm still trying to figure out like how the spirits will react to this eternal night.
If a new dimension's opened up, perhaps spirits from the other ends can be spoken to, but
Maybe.
It also explains why we couldn't potentially trace where Kyo and Lily's souls were being siphoned to.
That is true.
Maybe it's not on our side of the board as it is, or as it were.
Oh, you might be right on that. Speaking of that, the reason I was here with Lily was because so doing the mantra twice is quite tiring, I will admit, but it was something that, like, you know, I was up to, and I wasn't sure the first time when I did it, since I did Lily's after Kyo's, if I was understanding what I was seeing right, because I was seeing more than what I said. I did keep my cards close to my chest for that, because I didn't want to give false information.
I won't fault you there.
For the mushroom or fungus, I did sense a presence there, what feels like a small part of her soul, alongside with Kyo's, in his respective fungus. I could have sworn that I felt a different chunk of Lily's soul not present, but I couldn't pinpoint where, as it was too far away. So when Lily brought me here, I don't remember what. I think she just accidentally summoned me here, and it happened that I was working my way over here at the same time, so that was quite a lucky turn of events for me, not having to walk across the world. I did the mantra again, and I still sensed a chunk of her soul out somewhere. I was not able to pinpoint it properly, as it's difficult to be accurate to a certain distance. Like, it's weird how it works. Like, the only reason I'm able to know that my town has no, like, for example, because that's why I focus on that Shade Cliff That was the wrong piece of start like prefix to that. Shade Cliff.
You're all good.
Shade Cliff is something I focus on, so that was what I know where that is, so I'm able to sense where like life force there since I know the location. But if I don't know the location and I'm looking for a piece of a soul, or like in that case with Lily, it's difficult to trace it to where it is, as that's kind of like a reverse engineering of what I know how to do. It might be doable with further attempts, or if we can somehow power up basically the spirit circle. I don't know, but now that I'm more certain it's out there, that might help, because now I am not uncertain about what I'm seeing. I am fairly certain, as if it happened twice.
Idea where to look now.
Indeed. I'll definitely wait till we have Lily with us to do that again, though.
I can't deny the fact that I love some good research.
I also heard a little bit about her scientific research of the soul compared to my mystical, as we'll call it, research, and I do find it quite intriguing. I'm excited to see where that goes to. I'm hoping we can, with all of our powers combined, figure out something.
I hope so as well. I will say one thing I do enjoy about this dimension over my home is the fact that there's so many academics here.
Fair. I guess I wouldn't have considered myself an academic, but I guess I am, in a way. In a sense.
You study the ways of the soul in an occult matter, certainly, but is still studying and knowing.
True.
Could perhaps make you a wise woman in a sense.
Perhaps.
A scholar could also be an appropriate term.
Fair. I wonder. I don't know. This is something partly off topic, but I wonder if there are any of the research, if there's any of the research that was done at Shade Cliff itself that still remains. I don't know the extent of what happened. All I know is people are gone. Maybe I can go there and see if I can find things that will help me figure out how to do what I did at the caliber of my father, my mother, and everyone before them. All the way back to the person who taught us it all, learned it all himself. James Corinne.
Another? An elder, or perhaps just a wizened figure.
Very much
knowledgeable.
Very much my elder. James Corinne had the nickname Witherwood. He's the first Witherwood. He's the first of the Witherwoods. I never got to meet him, of course, or anything other than some of his more basic works, because he was dead over 500 years ago. But yeah. Sorry, I'm hearing noises.
One of my tenants.
Oh. Fair.
If you Oh, you heard me.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Ren. I didn't mean to keep you from your rest.
No, I wasn't resting. I was researching.
I need more books here.
Yeah.
Maybe I can.
Come soon.
Maybe I can bring some from Shady Cliff if I find any surviving ones.
I think I would actually like to go with you. If you ever venture back that way. If you're okay with me writing about it and putting an exhibit here about it.
I would be okay with that. I don't know what we'll see there to the extent of what is going to be seen. I've seen you before, haven't I? I've seen him before, right?
I don't recall. He's been here for a bit, though.
Not here. When the docks
That's right.
Oh,
at Sanctum.
He's
Yeah.
he's been staying here for
Okay.
a bit now. He needed help, so I let him stay.
Fair. That makes sense.
So, speaking of research, he's my hypothesis seems true, at least on the blood half of it. I was able to, can't actually see it. I was able to distill this, if you will. It's
I am fascinated yet somewhat concerned.
That does look quite odd.
yeah. I found out after extensive scientific processes, I was able to distill Kenku blood down into its purest form of simply just darkness. I have reason to believe this might be the first step to my other hypothesis.
Fascinating.
Hmm.
So there is light and spiral energy that can just simply be found in the very being of these individuals. In the Shadow Dimension, Kenku naturally occurred there too, but not like the ones
Oh.
we've seen here.
Okay.
They were very large in stature, to put it lightly.
So they were a lot different than the ones that are the ones we see here.
The term Amazonian comes to mind.
Okay. So much different than what we would expect to see out of Kenku.
Oh, extremely.
Bigger,
Okay.
stronger, faster.
Oh, that sounds concerning. I'm kind of glad I haven't went into the Shadow Realm.
Although it seems that in said failed state, they at least the word connection to the spiral is very dim, as they don't seem to have too much of it. They more so rely on their strength.
So they're not keen to use magic, instead using their yeah.
The ones that seem to be naturally occurring there aren't as sharp of wit as the ones here, which could imply an evolutionary change. But it also raises the question of, well, we learned recently that we had, and it was a theory before, that we had reason to assume that both Shadow Cats and Kenku had to have come here at some point to leave some kind of lineage, but we didn't know to what extent. And
Fair.
I mentioned the journal I found before.
The journal, yes.
One left by the King of Shadow Cats.
Mm-hmm.
He stated specifically that his civilization, while he was in, maybe not in power, but as far as his knowledge was, he was around when the Shadow Cats had last visited this world.
So it would be somewhat recent, I suppose, then, or are they long-lived?
They're long-lived, to my understanding.
So maybe not that recent. Fair.
I mean, to imply the fact that that Shadow Kits and the Kenkus found here are not just genetically, but internally and different and most certainly different with their connection to the spiral. It implies much.
About time, yeah. That's really interesting.
I know I'd be utterly stoked about it if I wasn't currently wanted.
Yeah, that does change the mood on that.
Just means getting my notes is going to be more difficult.
True.
Well, perhaps less now. But which reminds me, Ren, I need to get that door open.
Oh yeah, I should be open now. We did, that was part of my research. So
Hmm.
it should be opened up now. Also,
Oh, thank you.
you wouldn't happen to have that brew still on you.
My, it's for personal use, I'm afraid. This is what I use to dust the archive.
Well, I think I could borrow it for a second.
Oh, the storage room should have feathers and sticks for that.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I'll go grab that.
Fair.
Believe it or not, he's not the strangest person I've had living under my roof at any point.
Interesting.
There may be some ethical divides between us, but I think he's a good man.
That's fair. All I knew him for before was the wanting to trade for souls, and that is very much, you know, my stance on that.
I believe he's been possessed and undergoing that act.
Oh. Interesting.
To what degree, I don't know quite yet. It's another aspect of research that I've had on my hands.
That's fair. You sound like you're extremely busy with your research.
It's what I do. In
That is
fact,
fair.
the entire reason I retired in the first place was to just,
Research?
well, I suppose not the entire reason, but I retired because of guilt, because I couldn't do this anymore, but this whole matter with being, well, wrongfully convicted has brought me out of that retirement.
There's always something keeping us from taking a break, isn't there?
If only there was, well, there's certainly been times that I have, but it seems that's not my time yet. Oh. Thank you, Ren.
Oh,
Oh,
here you go.
he's wounded.
Wound?
On the bright side, that's one less step for me having to get a sample of myself. Seems to
Oh.
have come out.
Oh, goodness.
That doesn't sound comfortable. I'm sorry.
It's fine, I'm sure. I don't see it causing problems.
Fair.
So, promise both ways.
Promise both ways.
On that note, I suppose that warrants just enough to explain why I asked you to come here. Or, well,
Oh, yes.
wish I asked, or why I summoned you.
Summoning's an equivalent to asking, I feel. I was just caught off guard by the whole situation, so that's why I was very...
I really wish I could have given some kind of warning. I do apologize.
Oh, the teleport me is okay. That's why I gave you those. Like I'm explicitly okay with that, as it's helps me research and also helps in situations like this. It was more so I was just vastly confused about what I had not been present for. Led to me being extremely lost when I got here, because I was already kind of freaking out about the sun being gone. But now I understand, and that is still insanely confusing, but at least there's a answer to it.
It's better than the question itching at you.
And the what?
The question, better than having the question itching at you.
Yes.
So, in a simple way of putting it, I need you to do a reading, if that's something you can do.
A reading of what?
Me.
Okay, a reading. I only really have done readings on myself, as that is how I check how long I have left. But I am capable of them through that.
This is. It's something that I can't really. I have a theory potentially, but I needed this to be kept quiet for now.
My lips are sealed on this. Whatever I find out will be good. I promise.
Thank you.
Of course.
Also, out of character, sorry I interrupted you there. I just didn't hear the first part very clearly.
No, you're okay. My mic has been having some issues cutting off, it seems. I may need to move my boom arm closer, or just stop slouching.
I'm still shocked by the fact that you do have a boom arm. I'm kind of jealous.
I did a lot with my setup when I first made it.
That sounds great. I've just got a good mic and just have my monitors. Okay, back to a little
Fair.
whoosh.
Whoosh. Okay, so a reading on you, your soul specifically, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So, to explain, we had a returning person that's now staying here. She has a similar, well, not necessarily a similar ability to yours, but she has an ability to read people as well.
Interesting.
Which is admittedly an oddity to me, as I've only met a handful of people that could. But her present condition, she was another person corrupted by,
Oh,
in fact, the same thing that took my home.
but she's survived to some degree? Isn't as the other person you mentioned?
We were able to purify her. Well, not purify, but we were able to cut the skulk off of her, the corruption.
That's good. That's good.
She's not completely free of it, and I don't think she'll ever be the same after it, but she is alive.
And she has a chance to recover.
And she does.
That is good.
She needs time, but I'm certain she will.
For sure.
But what's concerning to me is I've been having dreams.
Okay.
Mostly I chalked it up to trauma. But there's a nature to some of these.
Okay.
And not too long ago, she said that she sensed something else in me. Something different.
Okay, that's definitely abnormal, I would assume.
My hovering friend in the other room there, likely you saw it.
Yes.
I would have had him do a reading, but he's not able to.
Oh,
So
that's understandable.
I didn't have much else to turn to.
It's okay. That's why I gave you those papers in case anything comes up that seems necessary. Because I am. That's kind of what I try to do. I try to be of assistance in my field of expertise, as it were.
Another issue that came up recently is I was able to do something that I didn't think was possible for me before.
Okay.
That being,
Oh,
I forbid you from laughing.
fair. I won't laugh. I am Intrigued?
It's new to me.
New to you. Fair. I assume it's new to anyone else who has seen it, including me. That's.
My species was able to adapt to environments. This wasn't possible for us.
Huh. So that's outside of what is normally possible then.
That is correct.
Interesting. That does give that does give credence then to what you were saying. I feel. I mean, especially to what this other person you're talking about was saying, considering that you're doing something that is not something that, yeah, as was seen.
It was disturbing the first time I discovered that I could do that. Also worse because my shift back to normal usually characterizes me bursting out the skin of the other thing.
Oh.
There's a bucket with an axolotl corpse somewhere in this archive.
Poor thing.
I don't think it's alive. I think it's still me. It's just that my body bursts out of the old one.
Huh.
Also, or I've been able to shift into an axolotl, a phantom, even though I can't control the flying of it, a swarm of bugs, and a cow. Horrible things were done to me when I was a cow.
I'm concerned about that, sorry.
They milked me. I don't understand how the growth of others affects, but it doesn't make sense. And
Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. That is just a very... I was not expecting to hear someone today say that they had been milked as a cow.
I didn't enjoy the fact that it was the first thing people did when they saw I could do it.
Oh, that is quite unfortunate.
And to you in chat, Panda, now Karmic Carrot has one too.
I saw that and I was trying to stifle a laugh until you mentioned it.
To be fair, Karmic asked, and I thought it would be funny to give him one. It won't be difficult. Out of character, I still need to fix those spells.
Fair. That does seem like something that is... Words are failing me right now. That seems quite odd that that's happening. So you want me to do a reading on you?
Yeah. That's about the long and short of it.
That's fair.
Because there's something going on with me and I don't know what.
That's... I can understand how that'd be terrifying. Like, at least with me, I know why, why my hair is turning white, why I'm more tired than before, why everything is as it is, I have that knowledge to me. Yeah. So, I'm trying to figure out how I do this on a different person. So for me, I do it in a way that's akin to checking my pulse, as in, like, I'll put my hand to my neck, or sometimes in a way that's not akin to that, of putting a hand to my chest, which I am very comfortable with doing on myself, because that's my own hand on my own body. I might be able to do that through your hand, I suppose. You can feel a pulse through someone's hand.
That's the best way to do it.
Indeed. Okay. Apologies for that. I don't know how to do that, but
Oh, I just typed in /me.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to feel for not feel for a pulse, but for your soul. Okay. You just take some moments. I do feel your soul. It is not whole, as you mentioned, but there's something else. There is something else. It's uh, eh, it's hard to explain what it is. It feels very much foreign. I can tell it's not something natural to you. It feels dark, as if something can feel dark, as if something can feel old beyond the scale of time I would be properly able to calculate in my head. It just feels almost, I don't know if this is the right word, but almost kind of like something ancient and chaotic, and it feels like it has ill intent. I don't know. I apologize for jumping back like that, but that was quite a shock to my sensing of that. Souls are normal. That is, it itself terrified me. I something like that I assume would be able to give you nightmares. Not that I know about how that would function, but it's, it feels concerning. You don't notice anything other than yeah,
Dreams were
the dreams,
what
as you said.
happened before, but after when we split the corruption off of this woman,
Mm-hmm.
the corrupted half was still alive.
Oh.
It was crawling away. I killed it, but in its death throes it latched onto me.
Oh.
Started enveloping me. I thought I was seeing things, but I was okay. None of it was there when I came back to.
Oh, that is... That... I... That... I don't have words to respond. That is very concerning sounding.
You understand why I'm trying to keep this to myself for now?
Yes, I do. As I said, my lips on this matter are sealed. I swear by my I swear by my sword on that.
I found out as well, additionally, I was able to do this.
Okay. That
Controlling sound.
sound. Okay, that's interesting. So I heard that.
That's Larry, don't mind him.
Did you control that sound?
No, I didn't control that sound. That's just Larry. He's in the walls.
Hello, Larry.
Secretary Larry.
So that's not something within your normal repertoire of capabilities?
Neither was any of the wind magic I'm capable of utilizing, but I've seen that another individual I met from this dimension, a Kenku, she was capable of using similar wind magic, and after surviving corruption herself, was able to utilize sound-based abilities as well. So, maybe a correlation.
Of imbuing you with sound if you survive, like sound capabilities if you survive, or if it's part of you.
Either corruption has a fragment still attached to you, or After all, we've seen wardens capable of using the same abilities.
Hmm. True, the warden. That it does align it to that, I suppose. That's
My body wasn't capable of doing this before. These aren't things that are natural to me.
yeah, they're something that isn't what is. Yeah, I'm just almost kind of repeating you. That I'm not. I'm not sure how. There's a lot of things I'm not sure about now, and I'm realizing just how narrow my field expertise is through this, and that's okay. It's just very interesting. I mean, this is more of a concerning type of interest, but it isn't interest in the fact that that's something that my brain does not understand.
You're fine. I don't understand this myself whatsoever.
Fair.
Thank you
Of course,
for doing that,
of course.
and for keeping my confidence about it.
It's part of the job. as I would say, you know. I don't know how much help I am going to be because my capabilities are a lot more surface level on these things. But if anything does come up for it, once again, the papers. I might be a little disoriented for moments, but once you explain to me why I'm here, I will be. I'm not even like wearing my dress right now. Like I was having to get that. I have to get that thing cleaned. Too much.
Also appropriate weather for a sweater.
That's true. The sweater is actually less warm than the suit I have, but the suit is also out of commission for the moment.
I know for a fact I need to stitch up my jacket.
Fair.
I took a nasty fall while getting away from, well, the scene at the Shadow Realm.
Yeah.
Had that thing in storage for so long, and then I ripped it after the fall.
Tends to be how it is. It's kept safe for a long time, and then suddenly, at woman's first reuses, it sees its battle damage.
Mask I had with it is still in stock, or still in stable condition at least.
Fair.
I suppose you can see a resemblance.
I can, yes. I'm guessing that's part of the attire you're talking about.
An earlier rendition of it. I think it's
fair.
going to need a bit of an upgrade. This kind of gives me an opportunity too.
Fair.
I wore a back at home when there was war. I put on a I suppose you could call it a suit, like a costume, just to be more stealthy.
Makes sense. I mean, I probably need to either make or find some clothes that are more stealthy than, the clothes I'm wearing, or a green dress. In the fact that the environment seems to be turning less green. That'll be doable.
Something to blend in with the dark as well.
Probably. I have a few things in mind.
Kyo's been tailoring things recently.
Oh,
Could
really?
talk to him.
Fair.
Better
Might have
with
to
the
see
hobby.
that. That's true. My hobby is basically just my job. Something I enjoy doing, something I see as a necessity for me to do. Yeah. I mean, this is. Do you know if anyone? are people are taking the bounty seriously? Like going back to the bounty?
I haven't been in any area where I could tell, let alone if said poster's been hung up anywhere. It's just not the person that told me is from Port Spiral, so.
Hmm.
But she said she wasn't there for the events, so
Oh.
I'd have
So-
to take my digging around, see if there is anyone that's actually taking this seriously. And even still, I know that the king of an entire species is, so
That is true.
reason why that blocker was there.
That makes sense. I assume there had to be something that went awry for it to be blocked so thoroughly.
Bren fortified it just for just as a precaution to ensure that no one would go through it on the other side. But the area is rather well hidden.
Fair.
It's in a cave, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh,
Huh.
I mean, he did say it could be open now. So maybe that's him?
I expected him to open it a bit further, but I can't complain. Oh god, my supplies are still in here.
That's good. Yeah, this is the port I recognized. I asked Lily about it, and she basically said that don't go, probably don't go in there. I'm like, I didn't really want to. It looks ominous.
To put it lightly, the Genku are everywhere in that area.
Hmm.
They're
Not the friendly kind either, of
persistent,
course.
to say the least.
Fair. I've not had much of a desire to go to the Shadow Realm itself. Considering the goings on right now, the desire is even lessened. Maybe I'll go there one day though.
I'd always recommend going with company, but as long as you're decently prepared and armed, the locals aren't too difficult to handle.
Fair. I mean, my armor has been built to take a beating, and my sword is capable, even though it probably isn't the most powerful thing around. It's more powerful than anything I've had my hands on. And this is more of a pipe dream, but not pipe dream, but a thought on if how do I? There's to go with my lineage. There's also a sword that I do not have right now, which technically, if everyone's dead, is mine. So I should probably go back. An heirloom sword, correct? I don't remember its full name off the top of my head. It escapes me, but I believe it was. I don't remember seeing it in a while. I didn't get to see it often, but I remembered its name as Shadow Pact. But I don't know more about it off the top of my head or from like most of what I saw, because I rarely saw it. It was something that was only really seen on with my father, Corinne Witherwood. He took on James Corinne's last name as a first name, but he was the last wielder of the sword, and so the sword. I guess the sword could be stolen, but it might still be with wherever he is. I wonder. I don't know.
Whenever you head that way, then let me know, and I'll ready myself for an expedition.
I will. You went invisible there for a second.
I've got a lot of things to do, but I always have room for for going to a place that has a story behind it, I suppose.
Fair. It'll be interesting to go back. I mean, I don't know. I'll see. I'll probably be ready for little to none of what I see, though. That's...
I understand.
yeah.
I'll treat the area sacredly, unless you say there are areas that I'm allowed to poke at.
Depending on what happens, my answer may... depending on what happens in the state it's in, my answer will probably differ.
I'm not going to question what he's doing.
He's trying to hit skeleton, it looks like. Oh, I do have a bow. I could use that now. I could use that now too. I forgot I had one set down. Archery practice.
Indeed.
But yeah,
Suppose this is where we part ways for now.
I assume so. When I feel ready to go back, I will alert you of that, and maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe I'll find part of my heritage again.
It's an important thing to some people. I was blind to mine for most of my life thus far, but
I don't know if it would be if it's actually a good weapon. I've only remember fleeting bits about it. I know it's a larger sword than mine. This is a one-handed sword. It was most definitely not a one-handed sword. So that'll take some getting used to, because I'm used to training with more maneuverable swords, I would assume.
ones with more finesse.
Yeah. I don't know if it's a... I don't know what it's like. Oh, right, I forgot. I don't know what it's like, but maybe. Maybe I'll get to see it someday.
Mine is I'm used to heavier weapons, though
I see.
I'm not quite strong myself.
I mean, I'm assuming you said that it's soul bound to you, right?
Considering that it's a piece of my soul in it, yeah.
I would assume that makes it more manageable to wield.
It certainly helps. I find myself quicker, more resilient
Interesting.
when I'm holding it.
Fair. My sword has none of those effects, but it is made mostly of fire, so it is quite light on its
And
feet.
I've seen the magics you're able to cast with it, which is impressive to me.
Impressive, but not overly controllable. If I'm holding the lantern in my hand and I miss opening the door, I will summon spirits upon myself, and I've lost a few pets that way. It's not my goal. In hindsight, it's kind of funny, but it's a shame.
It is useful when it need be.
Yes.
The scythe didn't always look like this. It changed after I fled my home.
Oh, that's interesting.
It may have evolved, for lack of a better term. And part of me thinks it might be alive.
I mean, if it has part of a soul in it, that would kind of make sense, honestly.
I'm also concerned of that because I think that's an eye on it.
Oh my. I just thought it was like a gem or something.
I'm concerned about it when it's out. I usually make sure that it's not in this configuration when I sleep.
That is fair. I wouldn't want a staff. I mean, sorry, scythe that potentially has an eye to be watching me.
I don't believe it blinks either, so...
Oh. I am glad that my sword has no eyes on it. But I know that as I said, falling on my sword would be quite painful, because it is, well, soul fire. That is somehow sharp.
Well, flame can technically cut through anything if it's focused enough.
That's
Plasma.
true. That's true. It's not a bad weapon, but it's not it doesn't have this weapon's a much newer weapon than the one that I desire. Maybe that one's better. Maybe it's worse. I don't know. Oh,
We find it.
precisely. And that will take me having figured out where Sword is in the far north. Because when I say it's far away, I mean like the distance from Carcadia to Sanctum is roughly 1,000 or more blocks, maybe 1,000 and some change. From Carcadia to Shadecliff is easily triple that. It will be a trek. Just as a fair warning, very far in advance, that it will be quite a travel through a lot of wilderness.
Well, on the bright side, I did find myself with a new friend recently.
Oh,
Whether or
interesting.
not he fully grows to be ready or not is up to question, but he's choosy about what he eats, so I have
Fair.
to figure out what he's willing to, or what
Yeah.
he's willing to.
That makes sense. Where did you... Was that the egg that you had in the...
Indeed.
Oh. So it did hatch, that's good.
That is right. In fact, I think he hatched the day the realm opened. Or well, the castle opened, I suppose.
Oh. So he's been there for a fair bit. Nice.
Only a week or two old, I think.
That's true. Not too long, but longer than I would have expected, but I also have not been out in a while.
Back into the pocket you go, little one.
Fair. Well, I appreciate the explanation of what's amiss, and even though it's dire circumstances, it's always good to see a friendly face.
I agree.
I don't know why, but the first time I walked through those doors, I didn't think those doors could close.
They couldn't originally. They were rusted.
Oh. I mean, that makes sense due to...
Landlord gave me a hand.
That's charitable of them.
I don't know if charitable is the right word, but it was helpful.
Fair. Fair. Well, if I'm going back, I'm glad I have my armor on hand most of the time.
I'm
Is
glad
this-
you're well prepared either. Or well prepared as well. I wouldn't have felt in good consciousness if you weren't.
Fair. So probably go that way because there's firing going on, but I think I'll make myself scarce using my magic
Until next we meet, then, Genevieve.
until next time. This is a newer one.
I've seen it utilized before by Miss Lily.
Oh, interesting. It's useful for, yeah,
Useful
Anyhow.
Traversal.
indeed. Alrighty. Well, that was not what I was expecting, I suppose. I'm hoping that he's not going to shoot at me. It was odd seeing him again, too. Not that I, have an issue with seeing people, but also just the first time I saw him was not on the best of, I'm gonna fall to my death. Okay, good. Was not on the best of terms. That would have been embarrassing. So I'm glad to see that even though we may not agree, he's on, well, 80s, the side of 80s, which is my side. Yeah. I need to talk to members of Carcadia. I've been sorely quiet amongst them, and they're the people who let me, in. So I suppose I should probably do that soon. On a non-lore based note, I do apologize for not streaming a little bit. I didn't know what to do, and then then we got the idea to do stuff, and we did stuff and things, wonderful, glorious stuff. But I'm hoping there will be more soon, and by soon it could be as soon as tomorrow if my cards are played correctly. If my cards are played correctly, and we can come up with what the plan is. So, yeah. Apologies for the slightly shorter stream than normal, but I figured I got through most of the things, including my feelings on the subject of helping. Yeah. I'm probably going to cut the stream off here, because I will just continue to jump on trees happily and ramble, because that is my favorite mode of transportation, especially with this wonderful spirit form. But yeah, I hope y'all have been doing well. I hope if y'all enjoyed, or something like that. The show, I suppose, as it were. And yeah, I hope to see you again. Hope to see y'all again soon. Maybe I'll actually stream stuff that isn't lore, so I can, stream more than once whenever I think of something that's lore based. 'Cause I do just forget sometimes. And yeah, that's about it for me, and I hope y'all have a good one. Have a wonderful rest of y'all's days, nights, whatever it is. And I will catch you in the next one. Something or another. I don't know what to say at the end of streams. So I'll say goodbye, au revoir, à demain. Maybe not à demain, that means tomorrow. But bon weekend. Have a good weekend, y'all. Ooh, indeed, and bye. Bye, Panda. Alrighty. I did too. That was fun. I enjoy doing lore. Telling a story is fun. And so I don't continue rambling, I will hold true to what I said and end the stream. Take care, y'all.